So today's class is going to be a little different than what we normally do. It's going to be a gentler class, a little more low key, a little more stretchy. So you may want some props, blocks, straps, blankets, I guess anything that you have nearby. And then once you have that, we'll go ahead and start on your back. Just as you settle in on your back, just feel the support of the mat underneath you. And just prepare yourself for a gentler practice. Sometimes that might not seem like what we want, but it might be what we need. So just start to notice the subtle rhythm of your breath here. Without forcing the breath, just allowing it to be however it is. And since today's practice will be a little gentler, we'll have slightly longer holds in some of these poses than maybe what we usually do. And as we hold the poses, let the breath be your anchor. So I know for me, it's easy to get distracted and start to think about other things. And you do that, just bring your focus back to the breath. Reach your arms up by your ears. Give yourself a nice stretch through the fingertips and just pause there. And then gently hug your knees in towards your chest. You can take some gentle movement here, maybe circle the knees around a little bit or rock gently side to side. You have a little bit of time here. And then just hug the knees back in if you're taking some movement. Keep the right knee hugged in, extend the left leg onto the mat. And then if you have a strap, reach for your strap. You can take the strap around the ball of the right foot so you can straighten that right leg up towards the ceiling. If you don't have a strap, the hands can go behind the right thigh. And then see if you can find a place where you can let your upper body be soft. For me, I like to just let the upper arms rest on the mat so the mat supports my arms. And then we'll just change sides. If you have a strap, you can take it to the side. We'll start with the left knee hugged in and the right leg onto the mat. And seeing if you can keep that focus on the breath. Maybe noticing as we move throughout class if the quality of that rhythm changes or stays the same. And if you have your strap, reach for the strap on the ball of the left foot, left leg straight up towards the ceiling. Remember, hands can be just behind that left thigh if you don't have a prop. And then once you get settled, just allow the upper body to relax. I know sometimes I can feel tension in my neck and my shoulders here. So see if you can just relax those. You can relax the face. And you can release that. If you have a strap, you can take it just off to the side. Hug both knees towards the chest. Take another rock side to side. Just notice if that feels a little different. And then keep the knees bent. Drop the feet to the mat wider than your hips. So they're at the long edges of your mat. Arms to a T. And then just windshield wiper the knees side to side here. And then next time the knees are over to the right, just pause in that twist. And if you like, the left arm can go up by the ear and just relax to the floor. And then return your left arm to a T. Just draw the knees through center, take them to the left, and then right arm by the ear. Just let that arm relax to the floor. Bring the right arm to a T. Draw the knees back to center. Keep the feet flat. Just walk them closer together so they're hips distance apart. Take your arms down by your sides and just take an easy bridge pose here. Press into the feet, lift the hips up. And then lower the hips down, hug the knees back in one more time. And then you can rock yourself straight up to seated or maybe roll off to one side. So you can come up to a comfortable seat here. And then once you're seated, just interlace the fingers behind the back so the knuckles are pointing towards you. And then take your hands to the right side of your waist. We're just gonna start with the arms in this position here. So just keep the head neutral. Maybe you close your eyes just to see what you feel in the right and left shoulders, maybe even across the front of the chest. And then from here, take your right ear to your right shoulder. And it might not go very far, mine doesn't. And then bring the head to neutral. Take the hands over to the left side of the waist. Again, staying upright with the head to start. Maybe noticing what you feel in the front of the shoulders, the chest. And then if you'd like, left ear, left shoulder. And then bring the head to neutral. Just bring your hands to your knees. Take some shoulder rolls up and back. And then opposite direction. Now let's just take some cat-cow with the spine here. So on your inhale, lift your chest, maybe take the gaze up. And then exhale, curl the spine back. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, curl back. Inhale, lift. And exhale, curl. And then just go back up to neutral. Let's change the props of the legs. You can bring your opposite shin in front. Take your arms up by your ears and just take your right palm down. Take a nice side bend over to the right. Oh, that feels nice this morning. And then bend that left elbow into cactus. You can draw that elbow back behind you gently if you like, and then take your gaze towards your right hand. And then turn your head back to neutral, left arm by the ear, and then come back up to center, both arms up, left palm down, side bend to the left, just starting by reaching through the right fingertips. And then bend that top elbow, draw the elbow gently back behind you, turn your gaze to the left hand. And turn your gaze back forward, right arm back by the ear. Come back to center, both arms up, and then just bring the palms together so you can lower them down to your heart. Just take some breaths here. So inhale, reach the arms up, maybe look up. Then exhale, hands to the heart. Maybe you close your eyes. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, hands to heart. Then you can open your eyes, take your hands next to your hips, just extend your legs straight out in front of you and point and flex your feet. And then take some circles. And opposite direction. And then from there, with the legs out in front of you, just step your right heel on your left foot. I like to put it between my first and second toes there. Get a little stretch in that foot, back of the leg. You can stretch your hands next to your hips. And then just change sides, right heel to the mat, left heel to the top of the right foot. And you can unstack that, bend your knees, take your feet out a little wider than your hips. You can just rest your hands next to your hips as you drop your knees to the right. You'll roll over to the right just a little bit and then come through center and take it to the left. So just starting to go side to side, kind of like we did on our backs, but now seated. So it might feel a little different. And then next time your knees are over to the right, we're gonna pause there. So you can turn your torso to the right. I like to just extend my arms straight out to the side so I can rest my fingertips on the mat. And then just take some easy breaths here. Now you're welcome to stay right here with your torso upright. If you'd like, you can start to take your hands in front of that right shin. Maybe palms rest on the mat with the arms straight. Maybe you can walk the hands further away so you can drop down to forearms. And then just walk your hands back, lift your chest, come back through center with the knees, and then drop them over to the other side. So knees will go to the left, torso to the left, starting with upright with the arms just extended to the sides, resting the fingertips down. And again, maybe you just stay here upright. Maybe you're gonna walk those hands in front of the left shin with the arms straight or drop down to the forearm. And then walk the hands back, lift the chest. Just come back to center with the knees. Extend the legs out in front of you. Give your legs a little shake. And then just come back to a cross-legged position here. And let's just do a little bit of self-massage for the jaw here. So right in front of your earlobes, the lower part of the jaw, really soft touch. It doesn't have to be really intense. And then just little circles with the fingertips. Oh, that's nice. We can take the circles both directions. I know it might not seem like much, but it has a different sensation to change that direction. Even move the fingers around a little bit. And then we'll take the hands up to the top sides of the head here. Same thing, little circles. This time you can kind of move the hands around. You can take them towards the back of the head, or the top of the head, whatever feels good. I want to move it around a little bit. And then from here, let's make our way up into a tabletop position. So coming on to your hands and knees here. Be nice and gentle. We'll start with some cat-cow. On your inhale, drop your belly. And exhale, curl the spine. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, curl the spine. Inhale, drop the belly. And exhale, curl the spine. And then just come back to neutral. Bring your big toes together, hips to heels. Come into child's pose. Just feel the gentle rise and fall of the back as you take each inhale and exhale. And then come back up to tabletop, tuck your toes under, then take a child's pose with your toes tucked, hips to heels. And then from here, just keep your forearms on the mat, bend the elbows so you can draw your chest forward and come into Sphinx pose. I know that's a slightly awkward transition, but coming on to your belly, flipping to the tops of the feet. And I'm gonna sway the shoulders side to side. And then slowly lower the head and the shoulders, just slide the hands back by the sides of the rib cage. Your choice here, you're gonna press through tabletop, either back to child's pose. This is your only down dog option. So if you want, you can tuck your toes, lift your hips, take a down dog and move around a little bit. And if you're in down dog, just drop your knees, hips to heels. We'll meet in child's pose. And this child's pose, if you want, you can take your hands or arms back by your legs. And then if your arms are back by the legs, just extend them forward so you can come to tabletop and then make your way back to seated. You can take your hips off to the side there. And then once you're seated, soles of the feet together, knees out wide, Baddha Konasana. If you like, you could gently take your torso forward towards your feet. Just take some nice, easy breaths here. And then just come back upright, extend your legs out straight into a straddle position. And then if you like, you can walk your hands forward, maybe drop down to forearms. And then come all the way back up. Just draw the legs together so you can come up to the front edge of your mat. Take a block with you if you don't have one near the side of your mat. And then take the hands behind the thighs, roll yourself all the way back and hug your knees towards your chest. Keep the knees bent, drop the feet to the mat. We'll come into supported bridge here. So press into the feet, lift the hips, take that block underneath the pelvis. It always takes me a little bit of time, so just make sure you feel supported here. And then arms can go by the sides if you like. Maybe you can rest your hands on your belly. You can stay right where you are, the supported bridge with your feet flat. If you'd like, you can start to lift the feet and extend the legs straight up towards the ceiling. Ankles stack over knees, over hips. This should feel relatively easeful. If it doesn't, maybe because your hamstrings feel tight, just take your feet back down to the mat. And then if your legs are out, just bend the knees, drop the feet to the mat. Use the feet to lift the hips, remove the block, and then just lower the hips down to the mat. Keep your knees bent, walk your feet wider than your hips, and then this time let your knees fall in towards each other at the midline of the body. So we're gonna find a little bit of stillness. Arms can go wherever is comfortable. Just letting the low back broaden a bit here. And then draw your knees away from each other, walk your feet hips distance apart. Just take your right ankle over your left thigh, setting up for thread the needle, and then hug your left thigh towards your chest. And then just unwind the legs, change sides, left ankle over right thigh, hug the right thigh in. And then unwind the legs, hug both knees towards the chest, arms out to a T, drop the legs over to the right for a simple twist. And then draw the legs through center, take them to the other side. And then come back to center, hug both knees in. If you'd like, you could come into a happy baby, reaching for the feet or the backs of the knees. And then from here, hug your knees in one last time, final squeeze. And then find your way onto your back for Shavasana. And then start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your ankles and wrists. Reach your arms by your ears, one big stretch. And then roll off to one side, pause there, eyes closed. Surrender to the ebbs and flows of life and its cycles. It's a good reminder. Press into your top hand, make your way up to a comfortable seat, eyes closed, hands at the heart. I hope you have a wonderful day. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.